What is up, homies? Zest back at it here again, and welcome to the TCGU podcast once again, where I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts.
Hey, it's Noah.
Hey, it's Travis.
And we're back at it again with some more retrospective content.
Copycat.
As always,
Stealing my culture, Travis. All right, sorry.
I was saying that was really intense. Are you okay, Noah?
Look at what he's doing to me, man. I'm going insane.
It sounds like a you problem.
Game over, man. All right, sorry.
So as always, we have ourselves some housekeeping that we'd like to take care of with going through our lovely Patreons, junior or higher sponsors, as well as for you guys to support the show. Check us out, Facebook, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch. We're also available on iTunes and SoundCloud and Spotify. Go and check us out when you have the time. It always helps us out. And as always, we're doing ever so much to see about getting to that 1,000 subscribers. Share it with your friends. Share it with your mom. Share it with your dog. I don't care who it is that you share it with at this point. Get us there. Hashtag get there.
Yep.
All right? Fantastic. So here's what we got for our Patreon.
I'll find you.
We got Addie, Andrew Dang, Anthony Albano, Bryce Rathsack, Clay Cardwell, Jacob Arston Monsieur, Jay Rogers, Jesse Serini, Jesse Morrison, Jesse Nix, Justin Forrest, Kat Maria, Kevin Broberg, Kieran Vision, Kyle Crossick, Lucinda Letica, Orlando Valdez Santos, Paul Casagrande, Ransom MacArthur, Samantha Stevens, the baddest bitch around, Sean O'Brien, Timothy M. Friedlib, Tamers Evolution TCG, and Tyler Zane Pease, as well as Red Riot Games, Cards Custom Build, Inked Gaming, and Dex Protection. Thank you all, guys. You are super, just saying. All right.
Wrong card game.
Guess what? I can still say it because Jack's Blade says it, so I can get away with it too.
All right, fair enough.
And if he ever find this podcast, I want him to know I love him very, very much.
Please don't hurt us.
So anyways, gentlemen, we're out at sea talking about the water, as in our water retrospective.
I can't swim.
Well, that's really unfortunate.
Shit.
Yeah, I kind of ate a devil fruit, so I'm like, I drowned.
Stop.
I drowned.
We get it. You're a One Piece simp now, Travis.
No, actually, technically, in the thumbnail, all three of us can't swim because we're all devil fruit eaters.
Shit. He's right.
We fall overboard, we're fucking doomed.
Wrong thumbnail, though. That's for a different video.
And
Our next one.
Yeah.
You'll see it next week.
Yeah.
It's a cool
Technically,
reference.
it's the week after.
Yeah,
They'll see
whatever.
this next week.
Yeah, you'll see this next week, and you'll see next week's next week. Yeah, whatever.
All
I like Travis better.
No,
All right.
not allowed.
So yeah, well, here we are talking this week about water. Now, as always, we do still have our PISS scale, correct?
Our piss scale? Hell
Yeah.
Yep. Piss scale.
We are going to be applying the scale as we did to Earth, and we are going to be covering the element as a whole from Opus 1 all the way up to our current Opus, which is Opus 13.
Just in case people actually missed that, what's the piss scale?
So the piss scale was power, in addition to there's a style, which is kind of like how much is it on flavor and like how
It was power, interaction,
Yeah,
style, and something else.
Here, I can actually just quick do a nice little search.
We spazzed.
Yep.
Don't worry,
Sorry.
people, we got you.
Sorry, we're
I'm-
all
I
spurts.
thought style
it's okay.
was the last one, but there's two S's, so it's
Yeah.
still a piss scale.
Yes.
I'm getting it now because there's a nice little search figure.
It wasn't.
All right, here's what we
standalone,
got.
was it?
We got synergy,
Synergy.
impact, protection, and style.
Yep.
So essentially, the idea is that on our piss scale is that we rate it based off of protection, impact, style, and synergy. So starting out with Opus 1. Wow. We're starting in the Dead Sea, boys.
Yep. We're floating.
Yes.
Our bodies be floating.
Like, you look at the cards, and it's like we have a Ford that can search a backup because there's the Opus 1 Agris that can search Ovelia.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we have a 6-7K with First Strike.
Whoa! So exciting.
And going along with it, that's where you had like the super meme 5-cost Ultimecia that said all Fords come in tap.
Yep.
No one played it.
Yep.
Awful. And it had a really random special freeze all forwards.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna be using that?
Yeah, it's kind of
Play Ultimisia.
interesting.
Pitch 3.
Yep. However, the Geomancer backup was actually kind of decent. It let you look at the top card, and if you didn't like it, you put it to the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, it
You
did
get
some
6
stuff.
CP Cloud of Darkness, too, I guess.
Yeah, but in that format, we had Shintoto.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
So-
like,
She didn't become
It's
relevant
just
until
extra.
water started being good.
Right. It's one of those that, like, you know,
in that format, it probably wasn't super important. That's fair.
Yeah, because like it's like one of those things where it's like it's in a fantastic effect in like the wrong element.
Yeah.
Right. Because what ends up happening is that like you look at Cloud of Darkness and then like you look back at Earth and you go, why not for just 1 CP more? I just remove everything from the game.
Yep.
Right. Whereas Cloud of Darkness for 6, especially in an element that really didn't have like the backups to support her, so to say, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's fair.
Because, like, your Opus 1 water backups were, like, you had the Evoker, and then the Opus 1 Scholar that returned things through your hand. And
White Mage.
that's about the gist of it. Although, Gordon was a pro baller. You want to know why Gordon was a pro baller?
You couldn't touch him.
Your opponent attacks. Gordon stands up front, and he flips a fat dab on him, and then nothing happens.
Block.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
you-
dude literally just sits there and nothing happens to him. And if they try to E-freed him, you're like, cool. Nothing happens to him. He just turns sideways. And eventually when we get to start talking about Scott, which he's a little bit later, I think he's like
Yeah.
Opus 6 or something like that,
Uh,
then he gets brave.
Yeah.
And
Memes.
so that's Opus 1. Already, Water's off to a pretty bad start.
You got
Yeah.
2 Tituses out of that. Don't know why.
Blitz Ace Titus! Like, he didn't even do anything
God.
yet.
My biggest issue is you got 2 Tituses. Don't know why.
Did that card ever actually do
Oh,
anything?
Blitz Ace?
Yeah.
It was a meme in, like, Opus, like, 3, because you had Belias.
I mean, you got Knights. Again, these are all just very generic things, but like if you just, I'm assuming at that time, especially in draft,
Well,
a board of shitter Knights would actually probably.
You,
do something.
you didn't get the really good generic Knight, though, until, like,
That
Opus,
is
like,
fair.
4. Because that,
Oh.
the 2-cost generic... Oh, yeah, I mean...
We did get Minwu.
I mean...
At this point, Minwu is phased out because just about everything in their grandmother has a Minwu effect. But
Right.
back then,
But you see, like, in Opus 1, you gotta realize that the Minwu effect really didn't matter too much because your water forwards weren't even that big.
Yeah.
that's fair.
Right?
Water also kind of just sucked.
I guess you got
In
5
Opus
CP
1.
unit too.
Like,
Well, I mean,
but
the 5 CP unit was actually good, though.
It just seems like a lot
Yeah.
of these cards are doing better as the game progresses instead of being strong from the start.
Right.
I mean, they were strong cards from the start, but like there wasn't enough to utilize them.
Right. Although, the most controversial card is in Opus 1 in that set, and that's the 2-cost unit. The
Okay.
backup.
Okay.
The backup.
Yep.
Because the one that makes water summons 1 less. That very backup alone is the reason that Hobby Japan never gives us an appropriately costed water summon.
Well, yeah, because
Yep.
that backup exists.
Exactly. So it
And if they
basically...
ever gave us an appropriately cost one, you can probably just play the other unit and still do pretty well. depending.
Yeah, but the thing about FFTCG is that when you're working toward tempo, you want to have it as optimized as possible.
Yep.
Shaving 1 CP off, especially if you could shave 1 CP off of multiple cards,
matters so
that
much.
helps you economize your CP even
Holy
further.
fuck.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
that unit backup is absurd, actually.
Yeah, and the problem with her design is that now they have to print water summons with 1 extra or 2 extra CP.
Yep.
It's the reason that Remora is 6 cost and not like 5 cost,
It
right?
limits design speed.
Because if he was a 5 cost, could you imagine a 4 CP summon that was Kuchulain but better?
Yep. That would be pretty dope.
That's fair.
Yeah, because Kuchulain the Impure, the card that didn't come out till like Opus 2, that now has a much better counterpart that's a common.
Yeah.
Because it draws you a card and then it 2Ks for every card in your hand,
Yep.
as opposed to your opponent's dull characters that they actually play around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Opus 2, that's when it actually wasn't no longer dead on fucking arrival.
Yeah.
You got Kuchulain the Impure. We got Fusoya.
We
The
did.
light Fusoya. And the archetype of mono water Fusoya actually started getting a little bit of traction here.
I love Light Fusoya.
Because you were able to have the 5-cost unit as an EX Burst. You had the Kuchulain the Impure as an EX Burst because you did 7. And then with your Kuchulain, you were able to drain it for 3 or 4 to kill the thing. And then you drew a card.
Yeah.
So, all right, pretty decent. You're able to actually kind of work around it a little bit. And you had your Scott out there to hold off the front line. And you're able to build your back row up a little bit and a little doop-de-doop-de-doo. It wasn't so bad. Now, the deck, it wasn't just a hot steaming turd. It was just a turd.
It was just...
Yeah, I wrote it down. Opus 1 and Opus 2
There was
basically
nothing.
felt the same.
Yes.
yeah.
Opus, there was no real identity that Water had, because it kind of did a little of everything.
It drew cards.
And drawing was like its biggest thing. But like even then, like there weren't any big standouts like there are now.
Oh.
It all just kind
Were
of.
you guys ready for the most busted Water interaction in Opus 2?
Oh shit!
You play a Pheromal Summoner, all right, which lets you search for a water, summon a 4 cost or less, and put it on top of your deck. You put Kuchel and the Impure on top of your deck, and then you Fusoya them.
Yeah.
Fucking insane.
Bust.
You got to draw a card, and you killed a guy, and you got to put a dude on board. Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Not like now where you just barf out 5 forwards for 4 CP and you call it good.
Turn 1.
Stealth this.
Your
like to have a
mic
word
is
with
gonna
you.
be so screwed up there. I'm
Nah.
supposed to be keeping track of these timestamps too.
That was the sounds of people barfing their forwards out on turn 1 with
So
reckless
it was at
abandon.
about 4 minutes, and this one was at about like 7 or 8.
Okay, cool.
We did get Ash, the 3 cost Ash, the one that has Heaven's Wrath. That if you target it with something, she gets 3k.
Oh yeah.
So that was also another thing that Water had. Is Water had those annoying forwards.
Yeah,
And
the sticky forwards.
They were the ones that were kind of starting the trend until Ice took over, like more recently in these opuses, where when you played Ash, especially in that early of Opus, because Fire couldn't really do anything to her because all their burn effects basically did nothing. She got too big.
Yeah.
And at that point, even when they try to interact with it, she'll just be fine.
Yeah.
And Ice couldn't really do anything to her because for 2 water, you just activated her again. So for a while, she was probably the de facto boss monster of Water.
Yeah. Because she just was super hard to kill.
Yeah, she was just on board. And extra copies that you had, cool. Heaven's Wrath, she
Yep.
gets first strike.
Yep.
And she gets bigger.
Yep. Pretty good combat trick. If
Yep.
I do say so myself.
We also did get the Opus 2 Merlot that lets you draw 2 and discard 1, so your excess
Yeah.
copies of Fusoya didn't suck.
Yep. Very true.
And the Opus 2 Larsa, while it didn't really help Water, it helped Golbez.
Yep.
Because Golbez decks were all the rage in Opus 1 because you had just played a bunch of dog shit 2 cost forwards.
Yeah,
And
then
in
you
that
just
format,
fucking
what were you
barfed
going
them.
to do?
Yeah, you just barfed them, and your opponent probably didn't have an answer unless they were on Shantoto.
Or they played the 5 cost Yuna.
Yeah. It's like, all right.
Yeah, this is the life that we're in. This
Yep.
is where we're at. So, like, and you know, that's a good point, Noah, that Opus 1 and 2 might as well just been one Opus.
Yeah, they
True.
both felt and look, at least on paper for sure, because I didn't play around with those opuses honestly, but
Neither did
they both
I.
look exactly the same on paper,
Yeah.
just with different card art.
The people that I've talked to about like the old FFTCG, like when it first came out, Mono Water and like the other archetypes that Water spawned in really didn't pop until the Opus that we're about to talk about, Opus 3 and then Opus 4. Because once we got to Opus 3, that's when we got Fanfrit, right? You know,
Yep.
as the shirt says,
Every fucking
dies
thing in the universe dies to
to
Fanfrit.
Fanfrit. Which,
Everything
by the
dies to
way,
Fanfrit.
shameless plug. Go
Buy
ahead
the
and
merch.
watch our go ahead and watch
Hit
the
merch
advertisement.
button.
Hit up our merch. That'd be
Poke,
great,
poke,
guys.
poke. Hit
Help us
merch
out.
button.
Be great.
Do we have a button?
Probably.
If
What
not,
if we don't?
They should have the
just talk to Stables. Then.
yeah, they should have a button linked to go directly to our merch page.
That's
If-
not a button. That's a link.
Yeah.
It's a button because you click the button and the button is a link that takes you to the website. Okay, so it's a button.
Mhm.
And also, it's actually just a button on YouTube. There's a little like if you go to the store or not the store page, the YouTube homepage, there is a set of buttons that's just your socials and your Patreon and your merch.
I can't believe he went that far in that tangent. Continue.
Yeah, because I fucking
All
know
right,
what I'm talking about, Noah.
Timestamps 1445. So Opus 3, we got access to Fanfrit. So now Water actually has removal.
Yep.
Aside from Kuchelane. which is all right. I'm not complaining about more removal, but if we started with removal, it would have been fine.
Yeah. And it's not even like it's not just removal; it's the removal.
Yeah, it's non-targeting removal,
Yeah.
and it's so early on in the game where non-targeting removal didn't really exist. The only 2 times you really, like 3 times you really had it was Shantoto.
Yeah.
Also at the same time, this is when Exodus came out in Lightning, but no one really played Exodus too much.
Yeah.
And then finally, you also had like Cloud of Darkness by proxy, but again, we're not really there with playing. Like it was seen as like a one-of in some lists,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like forefront, right?
We did also get Cagnazio.
Yes, finally, water has good forwards.
Kagi boy.
Because the classic play was Cagnazzo, Scholar Cagnazzo, play
Yep.
Cagnazzo,
Yep.
Yeah.
and
Wipe your ball,
yep,
bitch.
and you had a pretty decent sweeper. Don't talk about the band card Guido.
We got the band card Guido.
We did indeed get the band
Stop.
card Guido.
I'm putting it up there.
Stop. We don't need Guido.
We just need to show Rip Guido dreams.
Just put him on a headstone.
That would be
Oh
funny.
god, that's
But
so funny.
I will say though, there was a trend that Water was following because we also got Steiner in this set.
we
right?
did.
Steiner.
We got.
Because
The
Steiner
Spicy
was
Pizza
there, Aiko, and so was Artemisian. So like the trend that Water had is it's still kind of doing this thing of like we can find our backups, we can
Yeah,
draw
it was
cards.
just consistent.
Yeah, and it's like we can kind of do these things, but we also kind of have a little bit of removal, but at the same time we can't have too good a removal because Una exists.
Yeah.
I think Artemisian was just a really good card to add in around that point.
Well, because the idea behind Artemisian is that after you already had 2 backups, you dole 2 backups and you put it down, and you're able to cycle out 2 or 3 cards out of your hand to get 3 more cards, especially in cases when you're playing Fusoya. You could cycle away your Fusoyas and then get actual gas.
Yeah, Artemisian is a kind of powerful effect because it just
On a
gives
common, no less.
You, yeah, on a common no less. It just kind of gives you a free mulligan for whatever you want.
I mean, yeah, was your hand Dookie?
Yep.
Now your hand's
Oh,
probably
did
still
you-
Dookie, but
did you
less
already
Dookie.
take your mulligan? Okay, here, have another one.
By the way, Ephemeral Summer came in Opus 3, not Opus 2, so my mistake.
Yeah.
But still the same concept.
Oh.
That you... What?
No, keep going.
Is that you did Ephemeral Summoner, you either put Kuchlane or Fanfrit on top, whichever one was better, and then you Fusoyed them, and then you got Fanfrit,
Yeah.
and that
Man,
way you're able to wipe 2 forwards.
going Famfrit and just 2-for-1ing them was
We got access to Lena, which at
Oh,
that
yeah.
point I don't think Lena was anything special,
Yeah.
but currently
Lena was jack shit. Now she's insane.
Lena's insane.
Lena's $30 now.
Yeah.
$40 because
Gross.
literally because Sophie and Sarah decided to start breathing.
Aren't you glad that you picked up those Lenas, Noah?
I mean, yeah, they were cheap as shit.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were like
they were like $8.
Yeah, they were really cheap when
They were
Noah
like
bought
8
them.
to 13 roughly ish.
Yep.
Yeah, and now they're 30s.
Yeah.
Stonks.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Made our money back.
But yeah, Aiko's there. So Garnet.
Garnet's
A
there.
really goofy interaction that some decks did with Garnet is they would play off summons like Hecatoncheir or Cyclops.
Ah.
And you'd sit there and you'd be there with your smarmy grin, and your opponent thinks they have you in combat, and you pay 2 blue, and you put out Cyclops to make their board lose 3k, and your board got 1k, and you fucking blew them out. It was so dumb.
Yeah. That card's really funny,
Yep.
actually.
And she also couldn't be targeted with summons at that time either, which, was kind of neat. It was protection.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Famed Mimic Go-Go. This guy. All right, so...
They made Go-Go.
Famed Mimic Go-Go, for the longest time, had his own deck archetype, right?
What the fuck?
When you got to Opus 4, you had access to Cactuar, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea behind it is that you'd Cactuar him, and you'd use his power hit to break a forward.
Oh.
That's it. You literally had 2 1CP cards that their interaction meant that you'd be able to just kill your opponent's forward. But the second they didn't have any forwards, he broke. So the idea behind it is that you had to, you had to do it to where you limited your opponent down to just 1 forward. And it's usually like a crappy one, right?
Yeah.
The one that you could actually handle. And then you just kept him on board as a 1-drop 7k. Which, at that time, is absurd.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, compared to now where you have
One drop 9Ks.
two drop 9Ks, one drop 9Ks,
Yep.
9 drop 9K.
Numbers have no meaning here.
Don't.
So
I
yeah,
need more paper.
Opus 3 is when we actually had the archetypes, right? You had Mono Water Fusoya,
Yep.
and then you actually had YRP, which
So-
Yeah.
for those that are joining us for the first time or would like a brief recap, YRP stands for the Final Fantasy X-2 crew of Yuna, Riku, and Pain. So Riku and Pain are in Wind, which we'll be covering next week, and Yuna is your backup, and then you use the old Hero Riku backup before she got banned.
Woo!
And
God,
then
want that
you
card.
use the Opus 1 starter Pain.
What a baby.
And the three of them together let you draw a card, activate 3 backups, and you'd be able to make your opponent lose 2 cards
Yeah.
while still having access to cheaper water summons through Yuna. And the whole point of that deck was just cycling through and just gassing your opponent out while you kept generating free resources.
Something, gas, gas, gas.
Oh, yeah, no, it was just straight gas the entire
I'm so
time.
done with you.
So overall, Opus 3, Opus 4 was when we actually started getting like actual water archetypes. It's kind of like when like Neospatians kind of came out and they needed, and like the card they came out with Neospace helped the deck not be dead on arrival.
I hate how I understand that.
Yeah, I also understand that.
You understand literally everything, Travis. We get it. You play every card game.
Yeah,
But,
you're right.
br-
You're not
uh,
incorrect.
Brief disclaimer, essentially for the comparison is that for Neospatians, they had a card that you had to play it in order for you to not lose the monsters that you just put out on your field. Because Neospatians had this weird quirk that after you were done using them, they shuffled themselves back in your
Ha ha,
deck.
quirky.
Yep, they did.
Because everything at GX had to have some stupid gimmick.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look, I think the coolest thing about GX was that it gave summons, or not summons, fusions. God, somebody shoot me. Fusions became more prevalent, and I think GX is the best format.
I really fucking hate.
I like fusions.
That
Super
they-
simple, super complex if need be.
I really hate that they nerfed the Neos fusions so hard, and the
Yep.
fact that they have to bounce if you don't have the fucking Neo space or you don't have the portable Neo space. It's actually just so maddening because
Yeah.
I love the Neos fusions. The Neos fusions are fucking sweet.
And that's what's happening with water right now is that it went from liquid ass to just being liquid, right?
Get it? Because it's water.
Yeah,
Ha, ha.
it's not that it's like awful now. It's just kind of bad.
It's kind of whatever.
Yeah. So now we get to Opus 4. Now we get 3-color monsters, right?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Before we get past Opus 3, I did write a few things down that.
Oh, yeah,
that
sure,
I
go
thought
ahead.
Stood out in terms of how Opus 3 functioned. I think Opus 3 had a boost and removal pieces. Especially because Cagnazzo existed.
Yep.
And then it also
And
got
Fanfrit.
a boost, and Fanfrit, and it also got a boost in summon interactions or summon playability
Yep.
because of Garnet.
Yep.
And Fanfrit actually being a card that existed.
Yep. And it also had the 2-cost Ico that you could remove your summons from the game and pick one of them, and
Yep.
it goes to your hand.
So
Yeah.
there was a lot more that you could do out of that, and I can't say it started to grow an identity, but it definitely started to have like a solid basis to move from.
Yeah, it liked using summons.
And I'm also only going off of this just off the element itself, not with the element mixed in with other things how it is.
Right.
Um,
And that's the idea behind these retrospectives is that I'm looking at just the element in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
And then we can look at like the synergy aspect of it at the end of the retrospective.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Opus 4 is when we got 3-color monsters because we
Yep.
had Green Dragon, we had Go to resurrect your 2-cost Green Dragons, you had access to Shantoto, you had the Realms that could let you dig top 5 and grab your different monsters.
You also had the one drop
Kobleroid Yin, baby.
Kobleroid Yin.
Skirt, skirt.
Give me a timestamp.
We're at a 24.
Cool. That card's getting put up there.
We're making good time.
Yeah, because Opus 4 is when they introduced monsters, and Water loved monsters, because you know what Fanfrit didn't touch?
Monsters.
So a lot of the time, they just play Fanfrit and kill your dude, and they lost absolutely nothing.
Yep. The best part was when they Shantoted you and they only had monsters.
Oh yeah, the best. Yeah, when they Shantoed you and then they animate all their monsters and lethaled you.
And just killed you, yeah.
Yup, it was
That
the
was-
best.
Yeah, that was not fun.
So I do want to ask, in terms of current playability,
Yeah.
monsters. I'm only asking this because like obviously it's dropped off and nobody actually
So,
plays
like-
monsters heavily enough. Even though I think there's a possibility, I just don't know. If,
Some monsters are actually playable.
well, some
like-
are, yeah.
Yeah, like Gigas back in Earth. Like
Yeah.
a 4-cost 9K that has no Luminous Puma, but you have to build very particularly around.
Yeah.
it.
It's also, I think the game's too fast for
Yes.
Luminous Puma.
If we ever get back to a grind fest again, Luminous Puma will reign supreme.
I think there is a lot of neat interactions with the 2-drop goblin. That's just Zidane, but it breaks itself.
Yeah.
Because it's really, really easy to recur monsters. There are like various things that actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, and then there's also Magic Pot is a pretty good
Yep.
card.
I mean, we still have 5-cost realm.
Yeah, 5-cost realm, searching Magic Pot, searching the Viking, like I said, searching the best monster in the game, Ochu. That card's broken.
Activates 2 backups.
Yeah, 1 CP, activate 2 backups. Oh, I'm at damage 3. It's a 7K now. Beat your face in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So another thing also is that like 4-cost monsters at the time when it was built, like it was such a against the grain way to approach the game.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time it came to like a lot of like one-on-one interactions and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
the deck did fine with, because aggro really didn't exist like Opus 1 to 4.
Yep.
Because all too often you hit 1 or 2 AX bursts
And
then
just
you
die.
lose.
Yeah, you
because
just
you didn't
get
build
right.
you didn't build any back row, and that's what the game facilitated. Then is Opus 1 to 4, you had to build back row, right?
Yeah.
And this deck was able to build back row, but then Shantoto you, and then take you from damage 0 to damage 3, and unless you answered every single one of their monsters in that very moment, you lost.
Yep.
And it was such a different deck compared to people that thought, well, the only way I could win is with forwards. Technically, no.
Nope.
You could win with monsters. That just so happened to be forwards. And the thing that made it the most insane was that Nono was in it, so you refunded any of the
Yep.
CP you spent to animate them.
As long, yeah, and then sometimes for the free ones, because I know, was it Yin that's 0 to activate?
Yeah.
Cold War Yin, he was a wind. The one that was 0
Yeah,
was
I thought it was 0.
the 0 one was well, Sahagan was Opus 6, but your main beaters were Green Dragon, which was 1 generic, and Colboroid Yin, which was also 1 generic.
Okay.
There were no 0-cost animators yet until Sahagan, who was Opus 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
But once they did, get
And that's
zero
when the
cost,
deck peaked.
Yep. Because once they got their 0-cost animators, then your no-nos would just turn into free restands compared to paying one and then restanding the one you paid.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I did jot down in my notes that like this is the opus of monsters, with the way like just looking through water, because you got Realm and you got Gao as well.
Yeah, and both those were in 3-color monsters.
Yep.
And Go was their boss monster for that deck also, right? Because the deck only ran like 9 forwards. It was like Realm, Go, and then it was usually just kind of a preference of whatever else you wanted for your forwards.
Yeah.
But everything else was carried by monsters. And then you ran like 23, 24 backups.
Yep.
Like
Just stuff to kill your dudes.
Yeah, that was the... Oh, and then also Opus 4 was Legend Steiner. This dude was a baller. Because what happened is that people looked back at Opus 1 Cecil, and they looked at him and said, oh, Cecil must block? Not if he's dull.
Yeah.
And then Steiner becomes 1k bigger?
Yep.
Cool. So you got this like really cool baller interaction that Steiner couldn't die if something hit him with less power than he had. In addition, Cecil never had to block because you dulled him. And Alcid was really popular during this time also. So Water was now finally able to start dodging Lightning's premier removal, right? Oh, you used Alcid to target my active forward? Well, it's dull now.
Yep.
So now Alcid completely fizzles.
Very true.
And water was one of the first elements, aside from lightning, well, not even lightning, Earth, that had, like, interaction in terms of I dull stuff and stuff happens, right? Because around this time, Opus 4 is when Ingus came out for Earth, and they were able to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Water got to it first with having Steiner and having a lot less requirements to activate Steiner.
Yeah.
This is also when we get 3-cost Viking.
Yep. I was
Yes.
gonna get there too.
And
That card's so good.
And we finally have water forwards that actually don't suck.
Yep.
Well, it's because Viking lives. Viking comes in, he draws you a card. Oh, did Viking die? I'll draw a card.
Yep. Viking is
Viking-
that Viking's so good.
Viking gives you something whether he lives or dies. He either gives you an extra blocker or a swing, because your opponent probably doesn't want to give you that extra card, so they'll let shit go through, or he gives you an extra card, which in turn gives you better hand advantage and more CP resources.
Yep. Brainy was also in this set, so Steiner could grab Brainy, which let you grab Viking. And in addition, we also had access to another controversial water card, Mira.
Yeah.
Makes monsters one less, and
Yep.
then if one of your monsters dies, you get to go search for another copy of it.
That card's actually so good.
Which is why Hobby Japan now has pigeonholed water into we can't make good summons for it because Yuna's too good then, and now we can't make good monsters for water because Mira's then too good. Yep. 2 already formed elements of water have now been butchered into the ground. And water is now out 2 of its like main identity pieces, right?
Yeah.
Which I always hate design space like that when they go
did it
through.
too early.
Yeah.
And
certainly did.
the only way they can deal with that now is to increase cost on things or get rid of those cards.
Yep.
It's the only way you can fix it.
Because, like, eroding it, especially, like, this late on, would be kind of bad,
Hey,
honestly.
so I just wanna throw this
What's up?
MVP out there, even though I mentioned it earlier. Gladiator. I think that card's cool.
Oh, yeah, because he worked with Viking. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
that Gladiator was played all the way up until Opus 8, Opus 9, when
Is he a 2 CP or 3 CP?
he is a 2-drop
He's
backup.
a 2-drop backup. Yep.
Yeah, the dude was bonkers.
I think. I mean, it's not gonna work, but I might actually play this in something. Maybe my Firewater Knights, just because it gives me a standard unit to play.
Give
It
us
breaks itself.
Fire Standard Knight backups, you cowards.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, in all fairness, too, because of the new Garland that's coming out, I just feel like this card will still give me value because I draw a card and play a dude.
Yeah. Anywho's, so Opus 5, also known as, the Power Opus, right? For pretty much
Yeah.
all the elements. It was a really sick legend we got in that set. Cloud of Darkness.
Dang it!
Yeah.
No, I was getting
So,
there. All right.
Really
The-
powerful card.
Yep. So the chief identity of Water now finally became, oh, you have Vikings. How would you like to turn those Vikings into pseudo removal?
Yep.
Oh, they're just sitting there on their thumbs, not able to attack? Put out this big guy. Go ahead and drain their dude for an absolute buttload. Oh, they blocked your Viking? That sucks. Looks like their dude dying because they blocked a 2K, like a dummy.
So
Sure.
we got that. There's a few extra monsters that came in the set, but that's whatever. I think this was the first time in Water, besides Knights, that they were trying to push towards parties as well.
Right.
Because Celestia was involved, and God, it's in here somewhere.
Oh, you also got Bismarck, which Bismarck at this time was insane with Yuna.
Yeah.
You're telling me for 1 CP I can have the power of my opponent's forward? That's actually bonkers.
Yeah.
And it also let you return your characters back to your hand, so that way you could actually get ETBs again. Water was starting to kind of get this identity of, like, it's very clear that we have card advantage, but the way we're getting it is kind of soft, whereas the other elements got it more directly. Like, Lightning is, I just kill your guy.
Yep.
Whereas Water is like, I can kill your guy, question mark?
I mean, the way I see Water in this game, at least early on, like Opus 4, Opus 5, Opus 6, it kind of did everything. It was like that Swiss Army knife deck.
Yep.
And there weren't a lot of decks that could actually compete with it aside from itself.
It was Andoria and Celestia.
Yeah,
those two cards.
they were-
That's what
because-
made you want to attempt a party attack, because you net a card and your dude gets bigger.
Yeah, but even then, like, party attack as, like, a mechanic really wasn't until, like, oh, my opponent's on damage 6. I gotta try to
Yeah.
get 'em.
Party attack didn't actually
Yeah.
become something that
Till,
you
like,
build a
11.
deck around until Opus 12-ish.
Yeah,
Right.
11's when they, like, entertained the idea, and
No,
then Opus
11,
12
yeah.
is when we actually started getting cards. to
It's
support
11
it.
and then 12 kind of pushed it in further. But yeah.
Yeah. So, Opus 5 gave us access to a nice little innocent card by the name of Orator. You have to choose a forward, you give it a job, and it gains that job till end of turn. Opus 5 had a really goofy infinite when it came to Moogles. You used your Moogles to activate all of your Moogles. And that means that your Orator could then turn all of your other forwards into Moogles.
Yeah.
So the whole point of the deck was for you to activate all these different forwards. And there was a Mog 6 that came out in the last Opus that said, Dole, draw a card. And guess what? It's a Moogle.
Yep.
So, as a meme, it was a deck. It had a very brief period of time where it was played. The problem is, congratulations, you drew every card. What did you do?
Nothing.
You did literally nothing.
Accomplished nothing.
See, this is what I mean. But that just deviates too far. Sorry. Every time since we're focusing on water, I'm focusing on like the main deck I have that just plays water. And Fire Water Knights with Orator wouldn't be terrible to play like some random card that's really good and give it the Knight status. Yeah. Just so I can get that 2K bump.
Well, it doesn't. You see, the problem is that it misses timing.
Well, it misses timing on the play. Yeah, that's fine. I get that. But like, for instance, currently we don't have the new Garland. But like, if I play that or I play the 5 CP that gives all my Knights Brave, that's something extra to add. Look, that's also the best Garland currently out besides the new one.
Yeah.
Don't at me.
Then you look at the new one, and it's like, holy
they're
fuck,
both
hard text.
they're both good.
Just
they're
like
both
Strangers
viable.
in Paradise, there is no good Garland, only bad.
Yeah.
Take of that as you will.
Hey, the boss deck has good Garland.
It's because it's the boss deck. Yeah. Anyways, so there were some other fun cards I wanted to touch base in here also. 2-cost Rossler from the Category 12 starter deck that was in Opus 5 that says your Ash can be broken by summons or abilities that don't deal damage. So
Which could be important.
I like cards that are designed like this because when Opus 10 Ash, the 4-cost one, was played, people played one copy of Rossler because now you have this 4-cost Ash that can be broken by summons or abilities
and is netting me an extra mana every turn.
Yeah, and it was really hard to deal with that Ash. And then also at this time we still had the 3-cost Opus 2 Ash, so now I can't straight break her. But if I ever target her with Burn, she gets 3K. I have a 3-drop 7K that will not die unless it's to an enemy Fanfrit. But I have Vikings for that.
Yeah.
So overall, like, 5 gave a power boost to water, but it was more just like side grades as opposed to like actual like upgrades.
I wouldn't give water a full
We had Cloud of
buff.
Darkness.
Can I kick off next Opus?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You
What
already
you
see
got?
the card on here.
What you got?
Layla Viking!
Well, you didn't have to be so aggressive about it, but yeah.
Turn me down. Layla Viking is just the combo. When
Yeah.
you think of water, that's one of the things I think of the most.
Well, this is when Mono Water actually shot off, right? Is once we got Layla, Water finally had a good opener. That wasn't just play 2 backups pass.
Yep.
It was, I got to develop 2 on board, and I drew a card for essentially 2. And at the time, there really wasn't anything that could interact with that, right?
Yeah.
Or interact with it in such a way that it, like, net gained you anything.
Low key, this card plus Viking, Layla plus Viking, but also this other card, Hilda, just really stamps water draws a lot.
Yeah, well, like we already had water established as that element, right? Is I like drawing cards, and drawing cards is great, but the problem that started coming up with drawing cards is that your overall quality card still needs to be good.
Yeah, it's
Like-
what you do with those cards after you draw them.
Yeah,
Very true.
and in a top deck war, yes, water's going to do a little bit better because one of its 2 cards is going to draw out more cards, and it puts it ahead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Scott finally came out this
Yep.
time, and Scott also started kind of doing the thing that Water got known for with its 2-cost Knight, which was for every backup you control, I get stronger, further incentivizing Water to be a late game element.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because eventually you'd be able to get Scott to being a 9K for 3. And with him and Hilda and Scott from Opus 1 all got Brave, right?
Yep.
I am excited if we ever get a Hilda forward.
That'd be really cool.
That would be really cool.
Well, think about it. Just like a Fire Hilda.
I want...
So that way we have Fire Water support for Knights. Or like Fire Water Rebel support.
Nah, it'll be a fire water dual card.
A Fire Water Hilda. That would actually be dope.
So what I want, in terms of just the game in general, because like obviously we have certain categories that are getting more support and stuff. I would like to go back to like 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Or not 2 to 4. Sorry, especially 2. Category 2, and get more support for that. I love playing tribal and archetypal decks, and like
2 has no support.
2 has no support, and I think 2's cool. I've never played 2, but I understand the story, and I think Furion has some really cool cards that, with the right support, could make 2 just not even a busted, just a viable deck to play.
Well, and here's the other thing too, is that when it came to like category 2 cards, that's where they naturally drifted towards was Furion.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's the poster child. He's the one that you see on the Final Fantasy 2 covers.
I
Right?
want to drift towards Leon,
Yeah.
Well, but that's also
Stab you in the
because
back.
that's because Leon betrays you in every single one of his farking cards.
Yeah.
He does.
God, he does.
So good. That's flavorful though.
Since we're talking about category 2, your boy Legend Minwoo is in Opus 6.
He is.
So high roll summons was kind of a thing. It wasn't good, but it was a thing because you could like reveal Raiden and make your opponent feel really bad.
Yeah, that's the best feeling.
We also got the Legend Una of Opus 6, where we had the Gull Wings actually become an archetype.
Oh Jesus, a 6 cost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you see, here's the thing though, is that Opus 6 Gull Wings was super good because once you got Riku and Pain out, your opponent couldn't do much
Yeah.
because a lot of your interaction still was spot-based effects. Unless your opponent Shantoto'd, you're good. And this unit helped facilitate find them.
We did also get probably one of the biggest water staples for the longest time, Thornton.
Yeah, Thornton was always good as an off one of.
Yep.
And
Because if you hit him, it's nice. If you play
it's
him,
a free card.
You get the backup because you're already incentivized to play the long game, and
Yeah.
you get that one card you probably need to hold the game.
he actually sees a lot of play, especially now because Earth, Water, Sophie has a lot of backup ramp options with going through with Sarah and Thornton and
Oh
Claris.
my god, I just had like a brain blast idea as you said that.
What'd you do?
So if you break Thornton when you have Garland on the board, you just
Draw 2.
draw 2 cards. It's Pot of Greed. So you can Lulu to break your Thornton and then draw 2 cards and shoot their thing for 7.
Hey, you can search for Garland with that Thornton.
Yeah, you can. Oh my god.
Hey guys, can
also,
can we put these memes together, please?
Yeah, I don't want to get too off track because
Right.
we do have 7 more opuses to go, and we're
Right.
already 43 minutes into the podcast.
Yeah, Water's got a lot of shit to go through.
Well, yeah,
we'll take the ad
we're
break after
we're at
episode
a
6.
big tank. Hang on, we gotta go take a water break.
Yeah.
Boop!
Hi, and welcome to the ads. This week we are brought to you by Cards Custom Builds. Are you into cosplay? Are you looking to get into cosplay? In the future, do you want to show up at your favorite event dressed up as your favorite character? Well, then Card Custom Builds is here to help. Cards Custom Builds creates everything from props and trinkets and weaponries all the way up to full costumes. I've seen some of the costumes that they made. They are all fantastic. They're really good stuff. If you would like to get some awesome things for your cosplay or just cool stuff to have around, if you want to throw a Halloween party at the end of the year and be like the talk of your Halloween party, please go check out Cards Custom Builds over at Facebook and tell them about TCG University. Say that we sent you and you'll get 5% off your entire order. Please do this. They do a bunch of things over there. Clay is making a lot of really cool stuff. He makes coasters too. If you want to go get coasters, I think he's selling them on Etsy and on Facebook. So please, if you want to get some cool stuff for your cosplay or for anything, go check out Cards Custom Builds and tell them that we sent you. This week, we are also brought to you by Dex Protections. Dex Protections is in a never-ending pursuit to create the highest quality storage and protection accessories. Their designs and innovation come from die-hard gamers and collectors just like you, so you know that what they make is stuff that you will want to buy, because they are also making stuff that they would want to buy. They are on a never-ending pursuit to create the best product, and that is why they are the leader in the industry in creating accessories for your deck products. Please, if you would like to go get some new stuff for when we're finally able to go out into public and go to tournaments and stuff. Go to deck protections, and there'll be a link down in the description down below for that. Please go check them out. We're also brought to you this week by Red Ride Games. They're a Canada-based online seller of things like Universes, MTG, and Pokemon. They're friends of the show. We like them a whole lot. Please, 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 please go to redridegames.ca and check out all their singles there. And when you check out, use creator code TCGU to help support the show and help support them. It would be greatly appreciated. We like them a whole lot, and we would love it if you would use them to buy some singles for any upcoming tournaments that you might have towards the end of the year. Thank you. And we'll get back to the show.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed those ads and
Pretty sure
enjoyed
it was just-
Tyler's beautiful, beautiful face.
Yeah, go
We
check
love
out
you,
our
Tyler.
sponsors, everybody.
Help
Why are
us
you
out a
so
little
aggressive with this?
Because they need to do it. Well, it's also so he stays conscious. Because
Exactly.
he fell asleep in the middle of
I
the front
literally.
half.
That's
did you
hilarious.
Did you not notice?
Is that why
Yeah,
you were like doing all
I-
this shit?
I
The dude-
I tilted my head forward and I fucking my nose hit the mic and I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm glad that this is on there.
Yeah.
I will forever
See,
make a clip of this.
He fell asleep at sea.
Magic,
fell asleep at sea?
Yep. That Magic tournament was just exhausting.
No, you mean water is boring. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, gosh.
Playing a control deck for 6 rounds that almost all went to time, even if I wasn't the one going to time, surprisingly,
Sorry for your loss, buddy.
it took a lot out of me.
Yep. So to wrap up Opus 6, we also had the 3-cost Leviathan summon, which helped you cancel action abilities. Your summons, your forward's going to be damaged by summons. It was a nice little summon. It was neat.
Yeah, it did stuff.
So overall, like, here we're halfway through the water retrospective, and I don't know about you guys, but
Water ain't looking very good.
yeah, we got Fanfrit, and then we got Yuna, and
Fanfrit.
we have Viking.
Yep.
That's like, and Layla. That's 3, 6, 9. That's 12 cards. We still can't even make a deck yet.
Yep.
But we have Fusoya too, I guess.
Yeah. So we can make like an amalgamation, I guess.
Yeah. You have Fusoya. You have Kuchulain. You have Poo-Poo and Moogle to draw more cards.
Me draw cards.
And you have Merlub. And there you go. We drew. Because you got to realize that it's 50 cards in the deck, right? And 25 of those cards draw. So we're playing a deck of 25 cards.
Yep, basically. Holy shit.
Shit. This is...
Water is something.
Well, it's water. Of course it is.
It's
Opus 7.
very something.
Hey, guys.
We're getting good cards.
We got Agris.
We got
We did.
Agag.
Well,
But-
we got a better Agrius.
we
But
got.
we got the 6-drop Agris, right?
Yep, we got Agag.
But here's the thing.
You mean the Tinder date now?
Don't talk to me about that. So the joke is that there is a Ultimecia build where the 6-cost Agris from Opus 6 that lets you flip until you get a character cost 3 or less and put it into play. The only 3-cost character in that deck is White Tiger Lassie Nimbus. So
It's
the joke
so
is that
gross.
Agris is going on for a Tinder date, and she comes across White Tiger Lassie Nimbus and goes, "Ooh, he's really stacked. He's got a really nice body on him. Oh, and has such a chill personality. You know what? I'm gonna go on a date with him."
Yep.
Fucking hot bullshit. You're dealing with that
White
turn
Tiger
one.
says can only be cast Agrius plays, correct?
Yes,
Yep,
we
that's,
have to-
That's
I would
why
like to
it
get that.
dodges it.
Yep. Anything that just says play dodges it.
That's how-
Shantoto dodges it.
And just like how Phoenix was able to cheat at Titania, and that's how we got into that discussion.
Tanya, good card, right?
Yep.
Anyways,
Balance card.
but that's more about when we talk about ice.
Yeah.
Anywho, so we got Agris, and then that inspired her archetype of Water Lightning Agris, which actually got very far into Crystal Cups, and it was a very de facto deck up until Opus 9, Opus 10. So we're talking about memes. We got Kamari for Guardians, which rip Guardian support.
Again, this is something I think they could fall back to and be perfectly fine. People would be okay with it. We've said it before. Everybody will say it again. They're giving too much to 14 and 7. They need to branch into the other games.
Well, and here's
We
the,
all get it,
yeah,
but they're not going to.
but here's the other problem though too, right? Is that Hobby Japan wants to do stuff with water. It's very clear, right? But the problem is like where are they going to focus it at? It's like you can't really focus on drawing cards because drawing cards doesn't win you the game. Unless if they want to get really crazy, and I'm talking crackhead crazy, right?
Print a Lab Maniac.
Yeah, we got a Lab Maniac.
Let's go.
If we
All
got
right, for those of us that don't play Magic, go.
So Lab
You want it?
Maniac is a card that says when you would draw a card and lose due to deck out, you win the game instead.
Yes. So yeah. So imagine a Ludwig that's water. That's from category 4, the one that has Barnabas. Imagine a Ludwig that said instead of losing the game when you don't have any cards left in your deck, you instead win. And then you play all the cards that remove 10 cards from your deck from the game.
I mean, you could play that, and you could just play all the cards that say draw cards or get rid of cards like what is it?
You play
the
Yule.
category 6.
No,
What's his
no.
name?
What?
The category 60 that says dull if it's a forward out of the hand, if not break zone, and then there's one that says dull if it's a backup out of the hand, break
No,
zone.
Astrologian, yeah.
Here's what you
Astrologian
really
does
do.
that too.
You play fire, ice, and whatever element I guess you want to
That
play.
Lugway's in,
Don't
yeah.
you dare say Dawn.
You play Don
Don Corneo!
and you play the 5 CP
CP
Cloud.
Cloud.
We mill it,
No,
baby.
and-
Stop making category 7 good.
No, hey, no, guys, remember, here's our secret tech. 3-cost Dark Lord. Because when he enters play, you remove the top 10 of your deck from the game.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, what a fast-paced game of Final Fantasy you got there. You're literally gonna have your slow, choppy control decks, and then your other deck that you play is gonna be that. That's your aggro deck. I'm gonna burn myself faster than you can.
It's literally just hope you don't have removal for Ludwig.
No, because what will happen is that, what would happen is his ability to go on the stack and then they brought to it.
Yeah. Aw.
Oh, no!
No, you just fucking make it a static effect. You don't make it an auto ability.
Oh, but it'd be funny.
Because that's how it works in fucking Magic
That's
too.
true.
It's just a static effect.
Right.
Back on track, I do want to
Yeah.
add in Warriors of Light got Sarah, Dusk, and Ferris
Yeah,
in
but
water.
Ferris was bad. She had no targets because it's category 5 characters. There were dog shit category 5 characters. Except for Dawn Warriors, but Dawn Warriors doesn't even interact with Ferris.
I know. I just want to put out there
Yeah.
that the forming of this archetype
We're making
getting there
archetypes,
around
yeah.
that time.
Yeah. I mean, Wolves really didn't come out until we actually got like Water Fire Ferris. They've loosely been there though, with when we got Aegis and Saul in Opus 7, Opus 8, and then you had Dusk, right?
Yep.
And the problem with that archetype though is that it was so boring because you went Aegis Saul every game, and that was really what carried the archetype. And then
sure.
once Aegis Saul got removed, then like you felt bad
wasn't much
because
else.
there really wasn't much else.
Very true.
I'm really sad Styx didn't see more play. She was a 5-cost 8K that returned forwards, and then if you're on damage 5, she made all your opponent's forwards lose 5K power for her special.
Come sail away.
Yep.
Fucking idiot.
But yeah.
Sticks, you loser.
There was actually a discussion forum around the time of like Opus 7 because that's when we got Laser Ford and Sarah FFL and a bunch of other like 7 and like Tama.
Yeah.
The 7 CPs.
Yeah.
Yep.
That they actually had an article where they talked about, we really should have more expensive backups that actually like do like really big game stuff. Right?
Yeah, we should. And they should start doing that more. Like we need
Instead of just a
bigger
bunch of
backups.
cheap efficiency.
Yeah,
I want-
and the backups have to be good enough to warrant playing them.
Yeah.
Like it has to be something like God, what's that one card? Lassie
Vermilion Lasiki Tuna.
Yeah. It has to be something like that or better, honestly. In order for it to see play.
So overall, Opus 7 gave us Agrius, which established the Water Lightning archetype,
Yeah.
right?
Gave us God, I can't pronounce his name.
Halicarnassus,
Yep, Halicarnassus.
which is an amazing tech beast
I
card.
think Halicarnassus
It needs
is a
to
great
see
way
more
to
play.
end the game because you blank skills everything. I also think Halicarnassus is a great way to fuck with your opponent if you had a way to play it on their turn.
I also think Halicarnassus sounds like a weird name for a random disease. You have Halicarnassus. I'm
When
sorry.
are you gonna fall asleep again? I was so excited. now.
You have a month left to
here's,
live.
Here's one I forgot. Legend Titus actually saw as one of mono water because he could activate all your water forwards, or he could actually save one of your forwards for a value trade.
Yeah. It
So-
was kind of cool.
Yep. Again, neat.
Yep.
7 was. Yeah. You got 2 CP Waka.
Opus 8, we got Zidane.
Oh,
Zidane. Mr.
Zidane!
Fucking oot scoop booty, fucking bopping bitch.
Yep.
Can't fucking stand this
Fucking-
monkey dagger.
Hey, you want to
build.
touch me? Get rid of. I'm gonna keep drawing cards. This is what water does. Try to touch me now.
This dagger monkey tail motherfucker, I could not stand because water fire, as bad as it was in Opus 8, would do the same dog shit. They would slam Zidane, and they think they're so cool. Give it haste.
Give it
And then, and then they got EX bursted, and then they felt bad.
I honestly think slapping Zidane. So like it's probably not as productive now, but like a bit back then, I think if you just slap Zidane down and go, "Can you answer?" It's the funniest thing. Because if your opponent actually doesn't have an answer to Zidane, you get
Well,
to,
you
get
carried the game.
You get to sit there and look at them and be like,
it goes-
"I'm gonna run."
So like it goes the same even now. If they don't answer Zidane,
Within 2 turns,
Within
within
two-
1 turn,
honestly,
2 turns,
yeah.
you probably have it.
yeah, if you get 2 turns off with Zidane, you probably win the game because
Essentially.
you just drew 4 extra cards and your opponent's probably behind.
Yep.
Shout out to the mill deck, even though
Oh,
it's never
for
gonna be a
Quinoa?
thing. Fucking-
When the fucking remove 5
Queen
cards, and
God.
she gets 2K, can't be targeted. So dumb.
It's funny.
We
funny.
also got the 5-cost Ico for YRP at this point.
Yep,
Good.
that
And-
card was sweet.
At this point, this was when YRP was at its height because we now have Fanfrit, we have Chaos Walker, and there's all of these other different
God,
cards.
Chaos Walker with Yuna.
And the
Gross.
deck, like the YRP was so set finally that it could finally stall out the opponent and actually get somewhere.
Yeah, very true.
And this is when people were finally saying, "Oh, well, this is boring.
Yeah.
I can't beat it."
We also got Nickel.
Yep.
Yes, for Mono Water.
Mr. Nickel.
Ms. Nickel,
That
actually.
Yeah.
that card's very very important to point out because of the way that card acts.
Well, yeah,
in Mono
because
Water.
you play it and then you scholar back to your hand like Cagnazzo, and you play it again, and
Yep.
2 forwards lose 10k power.
It's
Yeah.
the same
There it goes.
concept.
Potentially you're bored at that point because I'm assuming people didn't build widespread boards.
No,
So-
Leviathan was also super good at this time, even though he didn't see much play after Opus 9.
Luna Freya.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm really sad Lunar Frey didn't have more support.
Yeah.
I love Lunafreya. I remember building my Water Lightning Party Attack, putting this in, and it was always just, it always felt nice when you look at your Thancred and you're like, I'm gonna block and let him die and make you waste resources to potentially kill him, and then Lunafreya him back in and get more shit.
Hey, you know what's funny is this was ages before it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true. But like Luna Freya nowadays just kind of gets outclassed by a card like Avelia.
Yeah, because for that archetype, it draws you cards.
Yep.
And then it also is when you feel it's appropriate to do it. It's not like a forced effect. Well, I mean, it was a May, but still at the end of the day.
You also don't just lose a backup for it.
Right. So
Sometimes you need that though. Like sometimes you just have to pop the backup for more space to do more stuff.
Yeah.
That's true.
So Opus 9, we had Ultimecia with all the different meme decks that this spawned.
Sneak and show, bitches.
4 CP backup, yeah.
Yep.
You know, and all the memes that she inspired.
Ultros was kind of a cool card for a little bit.
I love the concept of Ultros.
Yep.
The fact that we have a 5k sweeper now that doesn't fucking die.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. But the problem is that at the end of the day, you're paying 5 CB for a 9k that sits there until it's your turn, unless you give him haste.
And then if it dies and you use its effect, it might just get Ratsu'd and you fucking lost. Yep.
That's so bad.
Yep.
We got Gal. More monster stuff. We
Mr.
got Go-Go
Gao.
again.
We haven't had a good Goku in a while. He can go into a fucking ditch.
True.
We haven't had a good Go-Go.
Goku.
That 1 CP wasn't good.
That's
it was
Fade
just
to mimic Go-Go, though. That's not Go-Go.
Same difference.
No, it's not.
It's
Shut up.
Go-Go.
No.
Same difference.
They're mimes. They all act the same. Although King of Concordia has been one of my favorite water cards. Not
Bannon.
gonna lie.
Ah, that's what it was. It was Bannon. Sorry.
Banning the big fat baller.
Well, yeah, reveal top card of your deck. If it's forward, add it in hand. And then and if you fail, you can Astrologian and get the
And then
backup
get it
instead.
True.
Oh yeah, we got big baller fanfrit, boys.
Yep.
We did. We
This
got-
was the set where we
Sorry.
got it.
Mr.
I
Big
want to put
Daddy
these
Pimp
both
Slap.
together. We got the probably two of the best water summons out of like a top 10, top 5 list of 6 CP Fanfrit and 1 drop Kuchulain.
These 3 cards are water defining.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
and these 3 cards
It
in a
took
row.
9 opuses, but water finally has an identity, guys.
Yep.
We finally fucking got there. It
Yep.
was Porum and the summons
was-
the entire time.
Porum, Famfrit, do it all again.
Yep.
God.
So yeah, Opus 9 was very defining for water.
Yeah,
I like
because
how all 3 of those cards are side by side. God, shoot me.
Yeah, that's why I said simultaneously.
well, like, cause like that's what's so interesting is like it took this long for water to actually like do something.
I mean, how long did it take for fire to do something?
8 opuses.
Exactly. It took.
But the problem is
But that was for
it
fire to
continued
stand
get
out
better.
itself. Yeah. Water didn't.
No,
water
water-
was just.
water-
Water was literally. boop, And then it just.
Yep.
And then it just stuck there. And it's been stuck there.
Fuck it, he just flung that shit at the wall and it's stuck.
It's a geyser, and the geyser froze and won't go down or up right now.
Yep.
And we know once it unfreezes, it has to go down.
All right. So overall, 9 gave water a good boost, and then Riku got banned,
Yep.
and suddenly
Wah,
YRP
wah,
kind of
wah.
had to change their game plan a little bit,
They actually had to win the game instead of milling them out.
which is why in Opus 10 when they got Titus,
They
or
started
Titus,
trying to
they
win the
actually
game.
got to win the game because being able to loop Zidane over and over again got really dumb.
Hey, look, your hand's gone. Hey, look, your hand's gone. Hey, look, your hand's gone.
And being able to loop Pain also.
Yeah,
I guess we should kickstart 10 off with the Titus, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
very true.
he was the defining card for YRP, and he also helped mono water by proxy as well.
Very true.
And 4-cost Ash, also very good for mono water.
I
extremely
remember
good.
reading this Titus,
Boosts
man.
your board,
lost my
blanks a
butts.
guy,
Yep.
draws cards.
Yep.
Like, she did quite a bit. Oh, Gilgamesh 11
Yep.
for when we had those
Was very-
Mimi Resurrect Zidane plays.
Yep.
Hey,
Resurrect Zidane, resurrect Porum, Famfrit my Porum, get back my Famfrit, resurrect my Porum next turn.
So, I want more goblins. The reason I want more goblins is I want Verena to be a good card. I want a goblin backup that's not Princess Goblin.
What does Verena do?
She lets you
She
search for a
searches for
goblin,
goblin.
Oh.
So you can get the Goblin Monster, technically.
or you grab the Princess Goblin backup.
You do. I mean, I've used that for the Princess Goblin backup,
Yeah.
and then you
Grab a
you
light
use her.
forward.
You use her to grab Rain, and then you go Beatrix, pay 1, play Rain, break the backup,
Eh.
and you're like, look
Yeah.
at me, I'm so cool.
I mean, is it searching the lightning monster goblin is actually pretty cool too with like
Oh, yeah.
Ariander and stuff.
Yeah.
I like that.
We also got Folka in this set as well.
I'm sorry, that was very in depth. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, no, it's sick. It's a cool interaction.
But-
For those that might not know, there is a water lightning hybrid Uriander that says when you play him, you can play a monster from your hand with cost 2 or less, and then if you do, you get a bounce a forward to an opponent's hand.
Yeah.
So pretty good.
All right, but Focals came out in the set, and honestly, this was one of my favorite water archetypes that spawned. It was water light aggro. So the idea behind it is that you played a shit ton of water summons, right?
Yeah.
You also played the Opus 1 Light Onion Knight, the one that if you pay 1, he returns back to your hand, you play another copy of Onion Knight.
Yep.
So you have 2 copies of him, all right? You discard a water summon, you activate a forward and a backup. You pay 1 to return that Onion Knight to your hand, you play the other one with haste. You attack with it. You discard a water summon. You activate a forward and a backup. You do it again, and then you do it again, and then you do it again.
That's so gross.
So
So-
in water, you could murder your opponent from 3 to 7 with
Yep.
2 cards.
Yep.
I remember it wasn't this, but similar deck archetype was the light Onion Knights
Yeah.
or Onion Knights in general and Magic Pod.
yeah, is that you did this,
Essentially,
this is the same gist.
thing, except for you had to sack your dudes off instead of constantly restanding your dudes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I thought was interesting, but seeing this is a bit funnier.
Well, yeah, I liked water light aggro because it caught so many people off guard.
Yeah.
because most people think, oh, you're just gonna draw a bunch of cards and do nothing, right? No, I'm gonna beat your face in.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And-
fucking kill you.
And by playing Cosmos and like 4 light forwards, you got to play Ultima.
Yeah.
And then when they're on 3 damage with your 4 light forwards, you just beat the shit out of them.
We got the cool forms, or the original forms of multicolor with the class Moogles as well.
Oh yeah, well,
I will never stop saying this every time we come across them.
Class Moogles were in Opus 9, Opus 10, and the fact that Water got the Fire one, they naturally play together anyways.
Yeah.
And the Lightning one making Water, because those were Water's natural companions, was Fire and Lightning.
Yeah.
Because Fire actually gave you good forwards.
Hey, it's Magic's equivalent of dual lands. Nice.
And Lightning actually gave you good straight removal. Whereas Water kind of had the, maybe in this particular situation it's good. Lightning is, no, murder. 187.
Here you go,
Straight
Travis,
up.
because you just like drawing cards so much. Garland Lion. Lion says damage 2 when she goes to break zone, draw a card.
No one
Fanford
played
up.
her.
I know, but I'm saying he likes drawing cards with this, and he likes drawing
Just
cards
play
off Garland.
Viking!
Yeah, but like,
Nah.
you could also play this card.
I'll play 3-color Garland and play wind stuff and rangers and draw 2 cards when I break a ranger to break their backup. Pew pew. I fucking love that interaction. That interaction's sweet.
And then you play Paul, kill him. Paul
No.
Melias, mill him out the last 12 cards of the
No.
deck.
So,
No.
Opus 11 was really weird for Water because they tried to visit the Summoner archetype in Water.
And it didn't do anything, and it still hasn't done anything
'cause
because it
we
doesn't
don't
have
have-
enough support.
Yeah, we don't have we have the boss monster in Broska's Final Aeon. That's not the problem.
And in Doga,
yeah.
the water. Or
Yeah, the
Doga.
water though. Yeah. The problem now is we need forwards that aren't shit.
Yep.
Like, there's the starter Yuna that's the best one because she
Yep.
draws you a card when you play a summon. But
Yep.
that's it. And you have
Yeah.
5-cost Iridia. But that's it.
Yeah, there
The
are not
rest-
very many good summoners.
Like-
Like we need more.
Like,
Moving on to 11.
yeah.
Yep.
Like-
you also had that card up.
Like, Garnet, what the actual fuck? She says, oh, cool, summon counters. I give my forwards 2K. What forwards?
Yeah.
What forwards are you giving 2K?
Yeah.
Garnet?
Yeah.
Cool. That's amazing.
So good.
I like to mark this as the special 50 on these timestamps, since I'll be later.
Yeah.
3CP Celeste.
Oh, yeah, no, Celeste
Yes.
actually saw play.
Celeste is
She
good.
constantly sees play still.
Yeah, she's
No, I mean,
still like, she's
at
still an
least with
okay
some
one
people.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure. That card's insanely cool.
Yeah, it does a lot.
And
For
good.
seemingly very little.
Yeah.
And then Clavat for
Yes,
water.
We got
was
Clavat as
really
well.
good.
Clavat's really fucking cool.
Because he hits fire or ice cards.
Yep.
And those, again, are both elements that, especially going into Opus 12 and 13, Ice Water has received a lot of support.
That it sure has.
And, we got cute stuff like Sayador
We round off the Famfrit Trinity.
with, oh, cool, pay 1 to draw a card. And if they're on 5 damage, draw 2
That card-
cards.
I didn't
So-
say it was good.
That-
I'm just saying that they
Yeah.
rounded off the Trinity.
Yeah, I was gonna say that card is really bad.
Shut up. You played it.
So,
I tried it and I was like, this card's really bad.
the other thing, too, with Opus 11 is that we got Unileska, and they were so close. They were so close
whole
to
summer.
having a cool boss monster.
Yep.
And then she's just an 8K
Our hope got thrown out the window.
because all of our other summoners are dog shit.
Yeah.
And she said job summoner forward.
We got the
They-
5-drop realm.
Yeah, they tried to bring back monsters again with 5-drop realm.
Yeah.
That's a very important thing
And-
to note.
And she's still really good.
Realm. Yeah, 5-drop realm
Like,
is really good.
She's future proof that as long as we continue to get 1 and 2 monster support, she's going to be awesome. Because her and Stiltskin work really well together.
Yeah,
Because
her
they both
and
grab
Stiltskin,
one.
her and Ochu
Yeah.
work really well. Oh, it's a 3-drop that searches my Ochu that untaps 2 backups and this lightning goblin that draws me 2 cards when it touches you.
Yeah, what'd be sweet is if we were able to get a realm, get realm with like a 2-cost monster that wasn't Zoo,
Yeah.
that let you also activate backups. So
Yep.
like when you played realm, you got 2 free characters on board and
Oh,
then
yeah.
activated your back row. That'd be sweet.
That would be sick. I cannot deny that.
We also got Alchemist in the set also, and Alchemist is an amazing 2-drop.
Alchemisto.
This was an opus for FFCC. when it came to at least in water.
Oh yeah, because
Surface,
we got Mira, which again they were so close.
Yep.
They were so close with having like a cool design, and then we look at the other FFCC cards, and sorry James, but they suck.
Yeah.
There's not a.
But the meme of beating someone to death with Norstalin, I still have yet to see. I want solo Norstalin beatdown. That's what I want. I want to see someone get the shit kicked out of them
With
by
a
a uke
Norstalin.
with a fucking rock. You just get fucking beat.
Yep.
So, we in Opus 12, right?
Yep. The Big 12.
Yep. We got Ultra support, baby.
We got more Ultra support.
Ultra support,
Scholar.
baby.
The 4-cost Scholar is a baller card.
We
Because you go Layla Viking into Scholar, and you draw 2 cards.
Opus 12 harkens his ass all the way back to what was it, 6? I think whichever one had Celestia and
Oh, yeah, Opus 5, yeah.
yeah, Opus 5, because party attack became way more prevalent and
Yuna, boy!
way more
That Yuna-
beneficial.
Yeah.
That Yuna's insane.
that
Because we
Yuna's
got
so
water,
dumb.
yeah, we got Water Lightning Party, and when Yuna came out with Haze, it became yeet.
Yeah.
And you got to 8k a forward with Sid with mid Previa, and you minus 8k to another forward with Yuna. It was fucking
And
great.
you broke something with Thancred more than likely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you also got to draw a card.
Yeah, and you drew a card.
And you also-
your dude's got 1K.
Yeah, and you also get served a sandwich topless.
Oh, were you playing
and you also got a
Furion
back
and you
rub.
4K
Yeah.
another card?
And
Like-
all of this was on a golden platter.
Yeah, yeah. Did you hear me, Noah? I said, and you also got a sandwich served to you topless.
Yeah, dude, it literally. I think Water Lightning Party Attack is fine as is, but I think this Yuna is just what made it infinitely better.
Yeah.
Because if you for some reason stuck 2 dudes on board and you just swung with them for shits and giggles, heaven forbid one be a Zidane. Oh, I just drew 4 cards.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, this was also playing really well into Water's small forwards idea of wanting to build wide.
Yeah.
Because that was one of Water's chief strategies, was just with the Vikings and all your other just low-cost forwards that have little power, but you throw out Yuna, and all of a sudden, it means something now.
We also got the infamous search summon Sildra.
Yep, which
So just 4 costs, right? Yep.
yes, which
Yep.
is how we got Turbo X
3
Death.
cost when you're playing the Yuna backup.
Yep, which if he
I'd
cost
rather just.
if he cost 3 originally, heaven forbid paying 2 CP to get 2
God,
cards.
God.
What?
That
Dude,
would
it-
actually
see
be
what the unit tax does to cards
Yep.
though. This is a prime example
They
of
made
it.
that
does-
card too
it-
early.
it
Honestly,
does-
if they put Unitax in around this point, I think it'd be fine.
It
'Cause
does limit design
Water
space.
would have just so much more that it could do and not feel. I don't know. I feel sometimes that Water just feels dead. Like
No.
I don't have a better way of saying it. You draw all these cards, but sometimes you just can't do anything with those.
Yeah,
cards.
because you drew 10 cards. Did you kill my forward? No.
No. All right, cool. You're gonna deck out then.
Yeah.
Defense.
So I think that's a couple of things that Water could do. Is like it'd be really cool if Water had an auto that said if I draw an additional card like outside of like my normal draw step or something, do something.
Yeah.
We got one card that helps that kickstarts, in my opinion, Firewater Knights, which was Gawain as well.
We need,
But we need Fire Knights.
We need more Fire Knights
That
that
aren't
aren't
Garland.
Rain or Garland.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why we haven't gotten any others, but we should. There's already enough Water Knights.
We need Water needs a draw payoff that says the first time you draw outside of your normal draw step, you draw an extra card. Like the third time you draw a card outside of your normal draw step, you do another cool effect.
like lose power or
Yeah.
something like that.
Like
I think
you-
that'd be neat.
A big powered decrease.
you want
And
a
then-
water version of Barley.
And then
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
The fifth time you draw a card outside of your normal draw step, you do something nuts.
So are we counting every time you draw or every time you have an instance of drawing? Because
Instance of drawing.
okay, because I was like, Zidane be hella busted at that point.
Yeah, no. It's instance
You already
of
kicked
drawing.
off two of those abilities.
Yeah, no. Instance of drawing.
Oh, we got Ferris also,
get
which
Ferris.
again, Firewater Wool became a thing. And then that's when we also had our iterations of 3-color wool, 10-year wools, which was wind, water, fire, Warriors of Light. And again, I hope that's an archetype that gets more support because wolves need it.
Wool does need
They really do
it,
because
yeah.
they have an awesome boss monster in Ferris.
Yep.
They really do. But the problem now is we just need different named Warrior of Light forwards.
Guys, we're forgetting actually one of the big pieces.
What, Beatrix?
2CP Beatrix.
Well, yeah, but
2CP Beatrix kickstarted
Opus 13, yes.
Opus. Well, it was in Opus 12.
Yeah, but Knights really didn't exist in 12.
Well,
it was a
did,
concept.
It wasn't as strong
It was
as
a
it is
concept.
now. Because with the new Ramza and Agrius, Knights boosted further, but it was still playable
Yeah,
then.
we're getting to them.
Yeah.
Well, playable is a very subjective term.
Very true.
And we're also talking about water here.
Yeah.
Like, we're kind of treading right now. We're grasping.
On to the next one.
In the final opus. Finally,
Final
we get some
countdown.
more good water cards.
Yep.
We got a fucking rare 9K that draws me a card, that 7K is a guy that can search for another FFT forward and gives me a back rub and likes to take me out on weekends for vacation.
Yep.
Like, fucking the new, Itchies and EX.
Yep.
Like,
Ag going
yeah,
off.
like, Agrius was fucking nuts. We did not deserve this as a fucking rare. Like, holy
So
shit.
true.
It probably should have been a legend.
Probably.
No. If it
Yeah,
was a
at least
legend,
right
they'd
here.
still staple more text on her. They'd give
Yeah.
her another damage effect if they did.
I guess Ovelia was the legend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Balance it.
Yeah, Ovelia was the legend, right? But the flavor of it is that Agrius was Ovelia's escort guard, so it totally makes sense.
True.
Right? Also, my favorite water card, Opus 13, fucking Delisori Knight.
Yep.
We had a Norstalin 8K that lets me find a backup, which lets me go find another backup, and then the rest of my deck works.
Gross.
Oh, shit,
Like-
how do you spell that?
like-
I spelled that wrong.
Just, mwah. I love him.
What's its job?
It's mannequin.
Job mannequin.
Oh,
Mannequin.
Sorry, I just had to get that little orgasm out of the way, you know?
Yep.
Just for
And
the shits and giggles.
so we're talking about memes. We got the new Cagnazzo, right? That whenever forwards come
Caggy
in,
boy.
he gets the water counters and he can
Yeah.
make forward. Like, if someone ever gets him to 7 water counters, please let me know.
Yeah.
That's such a great meme.
That is a good meme.
You also...
We got Sarah.
Sarah back up.
Yes, there we go.
Sarah back up, Pog.
Go. Run it. I love that card.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna let you first
just-
run it, and then if there's anything you haven't said, I will say it, because I think all of us
Yeah,
need to
like
explain how
straight
cool that
up. Sarah not only helped water because there's a lot of princesses in water. There's actually a healthy amount of kings in water, and there's also a healthy amount of princes in water.
Yep.
The fact that we now have another backup that's not fucking Norstalin
Yep.
that helps find backups is great.
Yeah.
Well, actually, more specifically, another backup that's of quality of Norstalin without being Norstalin.
Very true.
Because while we still have Louis Swa and while we still have, all that other stuff, but the fact that we have a water backup that's on par with Norstalin is sweet. Now I'm waiting for a deck that plays both of them. That's what I'm waiting for. Right? Is that we get Norstalin and then her, and then the deck plays like 10 backups.
Yep.
Because,
I drew one. I drew them all.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I have the... Nope.
Nope.
I'm not playing it in that deck. Never mind.
No, you
What?
don't.
It was my Wind Ice Water. I'm not playing Norstalin.
Yeah.
I am playing Althea, which is funny, but
Yep.
yeah.
Simon's also in this set, and Simon's amazing. I love Simon. Simple Simon.
Look at my Simon.
got
My Simon's
2CP Viking.
Yeah, that.
I would like Travis personally to explain why he thought 2CP Viking was cool, and if he still thinks 2CP Viking is worth putting in.
2CP Viking is still cool.
The thing is, I think that we're short another.
We
Viking.
do need another target, though.
Yeah.
I will say that, but as of right now, 2CP Viking is definitely cool
No.
and a playable card.
No, here's what's gonna happen: is we're gonna get Monkey's Pod, and they're gonna give us a 4-cost Viking. Like, it's kind of like when we got those Elven Sentinels in like 2021. That's like 3 green, and they tap for 3 green. All it is just 3 Llanowar elves stapled together.
Yep.
God, I hate card design like that. It's so bad.
All right, who's ready to circle jerk for a hot second?
Why?
Oh no, do your thing first.
Wait, no. What if we got a Viking Lord that just says if
Lord
one
of the Vikings?
if one of your Vikings autos triggers, it triggers
Trigger
twice,
twice?
and then it gives all your Vikings 3K.
Oh, dude, they actually become thugs.
Yep. The Giga Chad Viking.
over here just beefing on him.
The wide Putin Chad walk.
They do the JoJo walk.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, you're looking at me?
So we also got the 2-drop Fina, right? Which if you're playing Axstar is fucking money.
Yup.
Bounce up,
Big money.
like bounce a forward, and I get a cheap water backup. Love it.
yeah.
Leviathan's cool.
Leviathan is cool. Circle jerk moment.
Now
Sarah
we can
Mobius
finally.
Sophie.
Sarah Mobius should not have existed as a common.
Very true.
Like
That
these
card should be a
effects.
rare.
These effects are on heroes.
Yep.
Heroes.
Yep.
Like Cecil was a rare, and he had a fight target, and he did damage to you.
Yep.
Sarah Mobius, do you play Earth? Do you play Water? Cool.
Fighto. Fighto.
She just fucking comes out and
And-
goes, go over there.
Yep.
Like, and she's a princess,
Yep.
so Sarah can go find her.
I'm very pissed, by the way.
Why?
So, well, obviously, Sarah and Sophie, great combination. I will say that on that. But I'm pissed about Yuzuki
Yeah.
because she's not a fucking knight.
Well, she's a warrior, dude.
I know, but like, God, they couldn't just give us a Firewater Knight that did the same exact thing. Would have been great. Would have been great.
This
Just
is
saying.
where we're getting into all the multi-element stuff and all that stuff.
Yep.
And then obviously it
Doga.
ends.
Man, you had a boner for Doga.
Well,
Doga's really cool.
yeah.
We need one more set. We
Well-
just need one more
well,
set.
not only one set, but we also need like more payoff summons, right?
True.
Because they haven't printed high-end summons for a fucking hot minute.
No.
Yeah.
Like the last one that we had was
So,
9-cost Raiden. That was an Opus 4.
My two hopes for Opus 14 is that we get some high-cost, high-impact backups and some high-cost, high-impact summons.
Yeah. All right. And then there's also Celestia, which some people actually talked about that it's going to create kind of an environment where it ends up creating like a prison-style archetype.
Like
Yeah.
a stack or death and taxes, stuff like that.
Because when you have Celestia out with Charlotte, you have to target Charlotte, which means you duel and freeze a character. And then if you don't kill Charlotte with your interaction,
You have to target her again.
then you have to try to target her
Yeah.
again.
Yep.
And you'll dull freeze another thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
That's why, I mean, obviously I still have to put more work in it. I like the deck, but Sid shuts down things. They want to deal with Sid. You
Well-
put Charlotte out. They have to deal with Charlotte.
So,
and Celestia
I might have a list
hits
for
with
you.
both of those.
I have a mono ice list for you that actually got third place at one of the Japan Masters. The whole idea behind it is that you put two backups out first turn, and then in your second turn you play Crystal Exarch, and then you free play Titania and dual freeze two of their characters, or you free play Charlotte. Because once Charlotte's out, how the fuck are they gonna deal with your Crystal Exarch? They gotta kill
You're
Charlotte
talking about the
first.
4 CP Crystal Exarch,
Yes.
correct? Okay, yeah.
So you barf out Charlotte with Crystal Exarch. Now they have to kill Charlotte first. If they don't, all you do is you build two more backups. Then
So
you free.
you don't have to put Crystal Exarch back in the hand, right? I'm
No.
thinking of Estronol.
That's Estronol.
Okay,
you
cool,
don't
cool,
you
cool,
don't
cool.
play her.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm making sure I'm getting the right cards here.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And then at that point, you just build two more back row, and then you play Celestia. Now it becomes really complicated if they target your Charlotte
Fuck,
because they dual freeze a character. And that's also not on top of the fact that if they killed your Titania, you play that for free again, you freeze another two characters.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
finally, you get to 5 backups. Imagine free playing Agrius.
Yeah.
Imagine free playing Laguna and dual freezing a character, and then dual freezing two characters every turn. The ultimate game, and we'll talk a little bit more about the size, but I'm just going to talk about it now because I think it's a very amazing interaction. Is you have Fistalis, Azure Dragon, Lassie Soryu, and Laguna. Dual freeze 3 characters and draw 2 cards every turn.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's talking about ice. We're talking about water here.
Yeah.
So we finally
When we get to ice,
Oh, yeah.
we need James. He'll have a field day.
And without further ado, let's get into our piss scale ratings. How do we feel about this? Let's start with Zeth.
Oh yeah, this is going over all of water.
Yep.
Right. So first off, the thing I'd like to talk about first is that when it comes to protection, water, like it has it.
Kind of.
It's more
It's
the
weird protection.
I return it back to my hand,
Yeah.
or it's you have to target me first.
Yep.
But because they haven't committed to the concept, it's not consistent.
Yeah, it gets like a 3 or a 2 from me.
It's about a 2 from me
Yeah.
on the scale of 1 to 5.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
guess Maiko.
Not.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're talking about protection.
Yeah,
so far.
I think water's protection limits it to it reduces damage incoming
yeah.
and it bounces.
Yep.
Water gets its shit kicked in by any form of straight break removal.
Yep. It also doesn't help that their forwards are no bigger than 5K.
Their forwards are weak as shit,
Yep.
so you literally can probably just block their shit and be fine.
Yeah.
I will, whatever. And if you, because like some of the cards that say bounce aren't as interactive on your opponent's turn, besides things like Leviathan or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the access to that card, then you kind of just sit there and go, my dude's gone.
Yeah.
Its protection's like a 2.
Yeah.
It has it, which keeps it from being a 1.
Yeah.
But it's shit.
Yes.
Impact.
It's inconsistent. Oh.
Waters, you guys. I will take last.
So for impact, it's like a 1. Water
Really?
is, yes. So and here's my thing about it. Water is good, but not in and of itself. It's good in other elements, and that's why
that's
say
where synergy comes in.
Yeah,
We'll
that's,
talk more about that there.
Yeah, that's why I say that it itself has very low impact in its own card pool, but once you combine it with other elements, then it has higher impact.
So I would say impact-wise, I'd have to give it a 2, and that's mainly because Fanfrit's there. If Fanfrit didn't, and I would even argue a 3 because we have big Fanfrit and then we have 3-cost Fanfrit.
Yeah,
If it
the
wasn't for
Fanfrit's
those two,
kind of carry.
the archetype would crash into the ground.
Very true.
Like it would flatline. It just would not make it. It would not pass go. Would not collect $200. So it's fine.
Yeah. All right, Noah.
Yeah, water by itself has, again, shit impact.
Yeah, it draws you cards.
In my opinion. And I've stated it numerous times, as you just said. It draws you cards. That's cool. What are you going to do with those cards?
Yep.
Fanfrit is kind of your go-to get rid of a card. But if your opponent builds too wide, Fanfrit doesn't do anything.
Yep.
And a lot of decks lately are just shitting out dudes like it's
no one's business.
like no one's like they literally went to Taco Bell and they can't stop having the runs.
Yep.
So water's impact just doesn't seem to be there. I think it takes too long for water to actually be impactful,
Yeah, because it's a long-term element.
which is weird considering it draws so many cards that
It
that
plays so
long-term
many
effect
little dudes.
puts you on a wire. But yeah, synergy, right?
Yep.
Oh, synergy, easy 4.
I'm going to say easy 5. It has the best synergy of any element in the game. It's splashable in almost everything.
Yeah.
It's got the best card draw. It's got some of the best removal. It's there.
Well, yeah,
It's in it.
The only thing that's stopping me from giving it a 5 is that when it comes to like its own interactions and stuff like that, is that it's at the end of the day, it's synergy of like drawing cards to drawing into more cards. It doesn't really accomplish like winning the game.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that stopped me from giving it a 5.
Yep.
But with like you said, with having the non-targeted removal, supplementing its card draw with another element, actually giving it big forwards for it to do shit with,
True.
the synergy's amazing then in that regard.
Yep.
I put it as a 5. Water. You can technically say this with any element, but I don't think any element stands out as much as when you go water earth.
Yeah.
Currently, you have Sophie.
Yep.
Water fire, you can probably get away with a lot of random shit. I wouldn't say it's super good, but it's still playable.
But yeah, you have wolves and then you have knights.
Yeah. You go with water ice, you get Celeste.
Yep.
And
Celestia.
Chime and Ultimecia and literally anything, and Titania and all that
And
shit.
Sid Randall.
And
all
Sid
sorts-
Randall,
yep.
yeah. You have water lightning. You have probably the best party. I mean,
Oh,
basically the
it
only
is
party
the
attack.
it is
But
the
you
party
get
attack
you get
element.
knights and you get party attack.
Yep.
Busted as shit.
Yep.
You could technically get water light. It isn't as good as it.
Yeah.
used to
Waterlight
be,
aggro is still good.
but it's still there.
It's a thing.
And wind water will, I think, still always be around. Sometimes it just falls off and floats in the ether for a bit, but that shit always creeps back up.
Well, like the way I see it is, it's kind of like looking back on an old boxer, right? Like whenever we look back at like the greats, Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson or anyone else with like a seasoned career, YRP was that seasoned career. It was the feared archetype
Yeah.
for years
Yep. 'Cause
until
it was so
eventually,
stable.
everyone finally caught up. That's what happened. Is everyone caught up?
Everyone got buffed. Water just stagnated.
Yeah.
Like I said, whoop,
Yeah,
Yep.
done.
yeah. Everyone else got
Water
better. Water
stagnating.
stayed the same. Yeah.
Ha!
Yep.
Yeah. We made a lot of water puns. This
Water
set.
puns.
God, I'm surprised I haven't mentioned it being earth sauce this whole time. I'm kind of sad.
Earth sauce.
That's funny.
Now finally, style. Water's so cool.
Yeah,
It does
I
cool
just
stuff.
want to draw the cards.
Water's a master pro tech deck skater. Like
Yep.
it just fucking goes around, dude.
No, you're like playing Tony Hawk, and you go through, you do the Superman flip into the manual, into the revert, and you go on the wall ride, and you hit the grind.
Water's
and you do the
legit
kickflip,
Billy
and
Mays,
you-
but wait, there's more.
Yeah, but
But
wait, there's
just like Pro Skater, you fuck up the manual or the nose tip, and the deck fucking blows.
true.
I think Water has some of the most style potential in the fucking game.
Like, if Storm didn't exist for Ice Wind, I would have to say at some point it should have been Ice Water for Storm, because you're drawing the cards.
Yeah.
You're making them discard the cards. Like, it would have been so cool, like you said, to do the Tony Hawk thing.
Yeah.
Where you do the fucking Superman flip.
Needless to say, I'm giving style a 5.
Style's an easy 5.
Why are you giving it a
Absolutely.
5, Travis?
We
We gushed over here. You gushed a bit.
literally just I draw a million cards. That's very stylized. Like you draw a million cards, but you do nothing with them, and there is nothing more stylish than that. Let me tell you.
There's nothing more fucking intimidating than your opponent going, I don't need to, but I'm going to draw all these cards.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
pitch down to hand size.
Yep.
Yup.
And you sit there like,
That's the real T-pose move. Just
got him.
Draw all the cards.
yep.
Well, like,
No. Yo, guys, what if Water got a card that if you drew like 3 or 4 more cards this turn, deal your opponent a point of damage?
Oh my god.
I mean, we are getting to that point now, because Axstar exists. Water is the next element that has a card that swaps out a card from damage.
That's true, because we're getting Larsa.
yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully we get a cycle of them. Like that, we need.
I think
a
every
cycle
element
of them.
should get that.
Yes.
Once Axstar came out, every element should have its own version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under Fire, I think Axstar is actually pretty comparable,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
Larsa's really good for Water. I'm
I
interested
still
to see what they do with
think
the
my
other
idea of
elements.
the Earth one of putting out a card and choosing a card in your damage zone until the end of your opponent's next turn. If you take damage, then that's the damage that procs instead of you taking
That'd be
damage.
really cool.
I think that'd be a cool idea.
That would be cool. Yeah.
That'd be
For
busted.
show.
But yeah, so I
So,
think that
here we are.
Think that wraps us up about
Water was pretty okay. We did Earth
Yeah.
on the last one. Hopefully
Like-
you will see that first. Please, editors, do the Earth one first. Thank you.
So overall, it looks like the scale for Water is 3, which
Yeah.
it's
I
average.
would put it in the middle. It is average. What was Earth, like a 5,
Oh,
4 or 5?
Earth was like a 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were
Earth-
gunning for Earth, dude.
Earth. Well, Earth just has.
Well, the only
everything.
thing that Earth really suffered in was style, and that was
Yep.
just because it's Earth. It does the thing.
It does the thing that
Earth
it needs
is
to do.
straightforward. You don't get cool power, or you get cool power plays. You don't get cool techs.
You
know.
fight. That's all you.
just-
That's the
you
cool
just-
thing you do.
You
He'll
literally
punch,
walk up and
punch.
just sack them in the face and walk away.
Yeah.
Fucking rock'em sock'em robots.
use,
Right.
use
Yeah.
Roadhouse them.
Roadhouse.
Yep.
But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Travis, you suck.
No.
Have a good night, guys. Bye,
Please,
homies.
somebody, please, for the love of God, clip him sleeping.